You see, loving tenderness, beauty without brain, and being a mad witch. Sometimes I used to characterize some things in life. And most times we might have principles that we feel like, well, when they fail us, we need to redress, we need to go back. And that is telling us sometimes we rise, sometimes we fall. When we fall, it's an opportunity for us to look back at those times that we were champions, those times that we were winning, what made us strong, get ourselves together, and keep fighting the battle. Those are the characteristics the Mercedes AMG F1 team needs more now than ever to get back into the F1 championship fight. I will say next year, not this year. Welcome to Exxon F1, also known as Formula One Column Africa. My name is Ashfes Oluwadamilare. With the FIA Formula One show of shame in Jeddah last week, it's already obvious that there are a lot of confusions, and I think with technology used in F1 and everything that has grown, there is a problem. There is a big problem. It is not a conspiracy problem. It is just FIA not being able to mark their own script very well. After the race, there are controversies over the third and the fourth position. Alonso was on the podium, celebrated. Later, George Russell had to be celebrated because Alonso was given a 10-second penalty. 2 hours later, George Russell was told he has been given his fourth place back. He's no more in third place, so they will have to return the medal to Aston Martin. Alonso is now third. That is a lot of confusion because if at this stage, with a big organization like Formula One, there are still mix-up, there are still rigmaroles, there are still going back and forth, then there is a problem. Now, Formula One came up with the Alonso is having a 10-second penalty. Alonso, Aston Martin is telling them, why would you give me a penalty after 35 laps? Wait, hold on, look at it. A lap in Jeddah is about 1 minute 36 to 39 seconds. If it took FIA Formula One to give Alonso a 10-second penalty after 35 laps, that is about 45 minutes. So it took them 45 minutes to know that the jack was touching Alonso's car before they could give him a penalty, which means Formula One are not really getting it. 2021, we thought it was over with, but this is back. It shows they cannot mark their own script. They cannot control themselves. This is a big organization, man. As in, let's be sincere with ourselves. Alonso has his point, and he said he's not going to serve any penalty because if they had told him earlier, he could have built a 10 seconds to 11 seconds speed ahead of George Russell and Lewis Hamilton because he had the pace. He was on fresh tires, and his tires were fine. But nobody told him, so he was saving his tires. Now they told him about 10 laps to the end of the race. How will he build 10 seconds? So he has a point. Formula One had to sit down and they had to look at themselves and say, well, we had no point. We had no choice than to give you back your medal. You have a good argument. We're all getting better. That is why in football we have the VAR. Though the VAR in football sometimes is so messed up, but it's better. That's why in basketball we have the video check and some other games just to make the sport more viable, more competitive, and more truthful, and nobody feel cheated or done by because of calls or penalties that are unnecessary. But I think Formula One should be able to get this right. They have cameras, they have sensors on the cars, they have the camera to know where he was placed. And to that, let me talk about that. Yes, giving a penalty for not staying in that box. I'm trying to understand. Why would you give a penalty for a driver not staying in a box? He's not leaving the grid. The driver is not getting advantage from staying outside the box. So far, he's still on that line, on the line of the box. He's not getting advantage. So why would you give the driver a penalty? I might look at it as a driver and I feel where you told me to stay does not have grip, or there are no rubbers on it, and I am using pure tires that needs to hit hard on the floor to generate it or to kick up fast in the lap, and then where I am meant to park will not give me the grip to move. I am still in the line. Let me park somewhere I can get the grip. So why would Formula One FIA not see that? There's no advantage gained there. He's not parking outside the box. He's parking on the line beside the box. I think they need to look into that because it's sulking up. Is affecting races when such things are given 5 seconds when there are they don't gain. I remember when Formula One is still competitive, about 3 years down the line, you see cars parked, especially 1, 2, 3, 4. They are well parked and they're turning their tires right in the box. They're turning their tires to face each other so that they can block each other out. Yeah. There's no advantage gained. So I think Formula One needs to work on that because it's a show of shame. Seriously, a show of shame. And let me talk on Red Bull. Red Bull are already cooking a pot of their own kidney and heart. And why will I say that? When you look at the interaction between the Verstappens and the Red Bull, as things are going, there will be a problem. Other teammates are coming in and racing hard, and they are not finding it easy, but this guy is finding it easy. Daniel Ricciardo had to leave Red Bull for Renault because of this same issue of the Verstappens trying to control, or because Christian Horner wanted Max Verstappen to win championship. Ricciardo is back. Sergio Perez is in his final year of contract, and this whole fiasco from last season is coming back, and Christian Horner is making us feel like, oh, everything is fine, he has mature drivers. Wait, Christian Horner, who told you have mature drivers? Who told you Verstappen is matured enough? Verstappen fans, I'm sorry, really I'm sorry, because sometimes you need to look at the reality and talk about the reality here, because he's still haunted by whatever he feels Checo Perez did to him in Monaco last year, which this is racing, this is pure racing. You take advantage. This is Formula One, this is a time-sensitive sport, this is a time management sport. This sport holds everything, so you need to be very, very tactical and careful. So you take advantage of everything, anything you can take advantage of. So I don't see what Checo Perez did has been wrong. And sincerely, that guy will do what he has to do to win a championship. Sergio Perez is over 11 years in the sport. He has not won a championship. He has won races. And he didn't win his first race in Red Bull. He has won his first race with Racing Point before he moved to Red Bull. So it's not that he's new to podium. So if he has the advantage of winning, why not just give him that advantage? This guy is holding 2 championships. This guy has an opportunity. And after the Saudi Arabia race, the cool down room was a little bit of tension, because Checo clearly was not happy about the team telling him to lap slower than Max Verstappen. And they knew Max Verstappen is still having that vibration from the shaft that cost him in the Q2 of the qualifying on Saturday. So why would they tell him to lap slower? They are free to race themselves, but when it comes to sense, they should just race with sense. But here, Checo is leading. Checo has the opportunity, he's a king of street race. He has the opportunity to win the race. Why not just leave him? And if he's in his final year of contract and they know Checo might go, leave these guys to race themselves. Leave Checo to race Mark. Let Mark work his championship out. You are only weakening Checo Perez by frustrating him with all the issues, and he won't drive well, and he might end up leaving Formula One, and he might get tired of F1, all because he joined Red Bull. And he evidently, Checo Perez gave Red Bull 2 championships. I can tell you that. I can tell you categorically, he gave them 2 championships, and I'll tell you why. He gave Max Verstappen his first championship in Abu Dhabi last by racing Hamilton with all his strength, with all the respect. Hamilton respected him. Hamilton could have driven him off sometimes, but he respected him, and they respected themselves. He never fought against Max Verstappen last year. All through the competition, he never fought against him. He gave him the championship, and so he's having 2 championships. Why not support him? I think Christian Horner needs to do more, and he needs to be truthful to himself and to Red Bull, telling us, is he in favor of the Verstappens, or is giving his drivers clear and ultimate goal? Yeah. In Mercedes, people can come out and say, yeah, Mercedes, Lewis Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas. Lewis Hamilton will always give his place back, except the team said they would discuss about it. But if Bottas has given him the opportunity to overtake him easily and go on for praise in front, if he has his place back, if he has the opportunity to give the place back, he will give that place back, except he overtakes him and go ahead and overtakes about 3 or 4 other drivers to win the race. Then they know Bottas has helped him because he has a faster car, because he is a faster driver on the racetrack. And if you watch Bottas's and Lewis's time in Mercedes, you would know Lewis is faster than Bottas. And Bottas himself knew, he gave Lewis his props. So it's a different situation here. There was a time both of them, Bottas overtook Lewis, pure plain. In Russia, there was no fight. It wasn't dirty. It was straight up. So sometimes I think Red Bull needs to look inward and see if what they are doing is right or wrong. Well, that is to Red Bull. To Lewis on Red Bull, what Lewis said on Sunday about the Red Bull being the fastest car he has ever seen in Formula One. Well, for me, I've told him he should get back to his team and get working. Lewis Hamilton, get the fuck back to your team. Start working. Tell them to give you a championship winning car that can compete with the Red Bull. Stop giving us the Red Bull is the fastest car. Mercedes is telling us they are the slowest beauty without engine or without aerodynamics or power in Formula One for now. So please, that is to them. Just leave that. You understand? Now, that has brought up the cost cap issue again in Formula One. The cost cap issue has been drawn up. Cost cap issue has been revisited. Otmar Snafner of Alpine has laid a comment, which I think is right, that the cost cap is giving the big teams an opportunity, an advantage over the small teams. The small teams are really struggling. They are really working hard to get themselves in shape, to get themselves. And I can see those small teams that are giving it a fight. They're giving it a true fight. And I think the big teams and Formula One needs to look into it, because some of the small teams don't have an aerodynamics testing facility. Some of the small teams don't have a wind tunnel. Like we know, Mercedes and Aston Martin. Aston Martin are using Mercedes wind tunnel. And some of these wind tunnels don't have a brake dyno. Some of them don't have the full car dyno to test the aerodynamics of their car. So that is also affecting the way these small teams are growing. So I think the cost cap should be revisited. Not because it might favor Mercedes this season, no, because we need to look for a way to give an opportunity to every team. The purpose of the cost cap and the new technical rules is to bring about close racing, and this is not close racing. The Red Bulls are in the cloud 9 of their own, in a different world of their own. They are just swooshing off and doing their own thing, while the others are really working hard to get themselves. The second team to them are like 7/10 to 8/10 to them. That is Aston Martin. The next is about 1.22 seconds away from them. So I think Formula One needs to really do better about the cost cap, so that it can give the smaller teams an advantage. Because if you are giving a smaller team 40%, 60% of wind time, tunnel time, and they don't have the wind tunnel to test. Some have the wind tunnel, but they don't have brake dynos, they don't have the full car dynos, they don't have other opportunities to improve their package for the race. I think that is going to hamper a lot of things during the race, and going to hamper those small teams from being competitive and taking the fight to the bigger teams. Though I can tell you, hats off to the small teams. They are really, really trying. They're giving their best to make sure they're competitive. And people are thinking Fernando Alonso will be a danger to Red Bull this season. I don't see that, because I'm not seeing Fernando Alonso racing Verstappen at any level. Sincerely, Verstappen would give Fernando Alonso nothing but respect without caring if he overtakes him or not. He's going to keep dusting Fernando Alonso, because Fernando Alonso, not because of his age, the experience Max Verstappen is having will give him a very big advantage over Fernando Alonso. So I think Fernando Alonso should know about it. Everybody should just think about that. And Checo Perez too is out in line. With the car, with the design, with the package Red Bulls are having, just forget about it. I don't see those guys as straight, because they are miles ahead of them. Even with Aston Martin having 40% of wind tunnel, CFD and other things, I don't see them catching up. That is the plain truth. I don't see them catching up. The only team catch up is Ferrari. I talk of the Ferraris. Sincerely, I think the Ferraris looked overrated this season. Like Mercedes, they looked overrated, and they're telling us they have a pace disadvantage. Wait, hold on. Is that pace disadvantage caused by any of the podcasters, or by me, or by anyone out there? No, you guys have a big team. Yeah, Red Bull might be the guest team in F1 now, the richest team in F1. But you guys own your facilities and everything. You own your engineers. Why are you telling us you have a pace disadvantage? You built your engine, you built your chassis. Who built it for you? Guys, get to work. Stop giving us excuses. Solve your problems. Stop making your problems our problems. Your problem is becoming our problems when you don't race. When the race is not competitive. When Verstappen will just open his DRS in the straight line and just swoosh you guys off. It's not competitive. So stop telling us you have a pace disadvantage, your drivers are going to toilet, your engine is this. Guys, that is your problem. Solve it. Solve it, Yeah, then the Formula E has started this week. We'll be giving you loads of information on Formula E this week. From tomorrow, we'll be seeing a lot of content on Formula E tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, and Formula One. But let me tell you something. Formula E was hosted in South Africa this year. We'll do our best to bring a Formula E race to West Africa, possibly Nigeria, as soon as possible. As we are building our quest to bring a Formula One race in the next 5 years, we can do it. And not because of the great implications it will bring to the country, but we want to be on the world map. Look at where Saudi Arabia is on the world map today. Look at where UAE is on the world map today. This is as a result of sporting competitions, especially Formula One opportunity coming to the country, and we need to do it. We're working tirelessly to do that, and we will bring that to you. So watch out for our content on Formula E. You'll be getting right to your face. Sploosh. Thank you.